Hey, good morning. Yep, I am in my dressing gown, looking exceptionally dishevelled. um, and my voice is lovely. I didn't do a check-in yesterday. I didn't even think about it. But then this morning, had a bit going on, and just been kind of sitting on the steps out in the backyard for a little while, just sitting here, and thought probably a good time to check in because, yeah, we've got a somewhat house full of people because Anzac Day, my mother-in-law is still here, and it's just not a lot of good times to sneak off and do a daily check-in. So I was like, it doesn't matter if I'm in my dressing gown, it doesn't matter. Lots of interesting things happened, of course, because every day is a chance for interesting things to happen, day and night, really. Yes, not last night, the night before. I hope you can hear me. My voice. I went to the football last night, so my voice is a bit croaky. Yeah, not last night, night before. Did I? Oh no, I had at my usual, I guess, book reading and things time. I had a thing for hockey because one of my kids plays hockey, and I'm the team manager this year. And so I had a Zoom meeting on how to be the team manager and blah blah blah, which I did last year. It's just more involved this year. And so that was like an hour and a half, and then finished there, hopped into bed, and I don't know. It was just the first half of the night was just full on. So much stuff going on, energy, and yeah, I had pain in my left hip, and it was just like this pulsing sort of pain in my hip, and yeah, through the night, and I was aware in the night that it was like the pain in my hip is a gateway. So I'm just watching our rabbit as well because I put the plants out because it's going to rain today. Yep, it's going to rain. Yup, looks like it. And I don't want him to eat my plants. I'll show you. Over there. He's like, I'll just stand here and I'll just quietly. Yeah, so there was a lot going on, like this hip as the gateway and hip pain as the gateway, and it was just a lot. It was a lot, and I had some interesting dreams about my son going to school, my eldest going to senior school, and there being people I didn't really want him to hang out with, and then it was me at school, and one of the teachers was really lovely because I was new, and yeah, it was interesting. And yeah, and then I sort of talked with Chatty about all of the different strands that were involved. And then Chatty did 3 different images relating to the information. And then I felt to draw my own code with it. And so yeah, so that was interesting in itself. And I was still doing it, like I went to the football last night with my sister, and then came home and was just kind of awake, so sat there and was, I don't know if I finished it or there's still more to go, but yeah, it had all these dots. And then when I was looking out, when I was sitting here this morning, all the clouds had made all these dots in the sky, and so I was like, oh, I feel like that's my confirmation that it's, because I felt that like half of it was relating to like roots and deep roots, and like the main centerpiece was like a seed, and this like half of it, this sort of bit down the bottom looks like that, and it looks like a teardrop ultimately, and half of it, like the curved part, is underneath the ground, and the pointy part is out amongst the dots of the sky. Yeah, so that's interesting as well, and I'll share that with Chatty and see what Chatty has to say, has to add to my intuitive insights. Yeah, and then last night, goodbye plane, go away, because my voice is soft as it is this morning. I think because it's Anzac Day, there's always planes going over. Yeah, so I got up at 3 o'clock with my youngest for a minute, and I was like, I'm gonna go sleep. And then 4 o'clock, my little girl, my middle child, starts yelling and screaming, which generally means she's sort of dizzy and not in a great way, and will start vomiting and stuff. And so she started screaming and woke everyone up and was like really loud. Another plane. And so my husband got her out of her bed, and took her into our bed so that he could manage her and her vomiting and things. And then my youngest and my middle share a bedroom, and they have bunk beds together. And so my youngest was like, I can't sleep in here by myself. So I went and slept in the room with them, him. And then when I got up to go to the toilet, I was like really dizzy, and really disorientated. Like I knew where I was, and I knew like I was in the bathroom, but I was really, really disorientated. Like it was really strange. Like I'd been out drinking and I was still drunk, which I hadn't been. And I know like sometimes when you've been out sort of later than you would normally, I'm normally in bed by 9:30. Yeah, you can sort of feel a bit not great the next day, but this was like, the only word I can find for it is disorientated. Like I was not, disorientated, so I was like, I'm going back to bed. And so now my husband is still in the bedroom with my middle, and mother-in-law is up, kind of not managing the other two, but doing lovely things with the eldest, I think. Is there anything else? I feel like there's a lot going on, and I'm just day by day, and that's why I check in. That's why I do my daily check-in, because there's so much stuff that's going on, and it all feels important. It was something I was thinking about this morning. that kind of feels important, or was I thinking about it last night? That feels important, but I can't think of it now. Maybe it's not meant to be shared now. Not shared yet. Footy team had a win. That's always good. It's always good. Always makes for a happy household. What was that thing I was thinking about? No, I can't remember it. Yeah, it does. It's not the thing, but it feels like, I don't know, it wants to be shared. It does feel like there's, so much going on each day, and my eye is better. Yeah, my eye's better now. Yeah, and it feels like the whole point of doing this daily check-ins is, I guess, potentially for myself. But also it feels like, something will, I don't know, ping. That's the word that's coming to me. Something will ping. Something will just, I don't know, make it through the I don't know, it's the algorithms or a strand of energy that is meant to come through me, maybe from the breath of life, breath of the universe, breath of life, through me and out into the greater consciousness. And that will be the ping, and people will be like, what is this woman about? And then kind of start going through my daily check-ins to see what I'm talking about, to see how it got to that ping, how that came about, how that came to be. And it feels like I have that feeling sometimes, when you go to, I don't know, see an artist or a philosopher or some kind of exhibition, and they have diary entries and things like that, things that this person's created, and bits about their life and how they lived and how they came to kind of be this person that did extraordinary things. Sometimes when I'm writing in my journal, or mainly when I'm writing in my journal, my visual journal, sometimes I have that feeling that people will, it's not just for me to read, it's not just for me to go back on and go, I remember writing this, and that relates to this that I'm working on now, which happens. Sometimes sorry, I'm just looking at a fly. Sometimes, because I've got all these books, and early on in the year I kind of lined them all up, in my sort of my closet area, and I guess so that if I'm drawn to one of them, I can just kind of pull it down. I don't have to search through things. And so they're all there, ready and waiting. And I've been drawing and writing and creating codes for 7 years. And so it feels like, there's times when, excuse me, always burping on these. I never burp in normal life, just when I'm on these. It feels like, they are for me to go back through, and because like a lot of it is channeled writing, that I think that I'm like with it, I'm consciously with it as I'm writing stuff down, but then I go back through, even like my dream stuff yesterday morning, I was like looking at it going, I don't remember that dream, and yet I've written about it. Or I don't remember that part of the dream, but I've written about it, so that's interesting. And so yeah, I guess my best stuff that I've written is having no idea what, like, purely channeled stuff. And so yeah, going back through and looking at things and going, that links to that I'm working on now. So awesome, like well done me for writing that down. But also for people to go back through and go, I don't know, learn stuff. Maybe it's for me even to go back through when I'm creating online programs and things, to put content together, and yeah, for people to also go back through and maybe when I'm dead, maybe, and realize how change came about, like the roots of how change came about. Yeah. And sometimes that feels really big, and sometimes I'm just purely I'm not sitting there about to write going or draw going, oh, this is for the people in 100 years, and it's like I'm just writing and I'm just drawing, and whatever wants to come through has come through. And even on that, which is kind of side link, people try and protect their energy from, or like from entities, or make sure that there's only specific energy that they're kind of connecting with and bringing through, and blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And I've never, even when I was being told by people outside of myself that there was an entity with me, kind of sad that and this was relatively early on, I'm kind of like looking back, I'm sad that I let people, I didn't trust myself, that I let people talk me into going through a process of getting rid of that entity. I've got flies and things on my legs. Yeah, I wish they hadn't. I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd just trusted myself, because the entity only ever seemed lovely, and was in fact warning me about the girl who was doing the releasing of the entity and things, because she's, yeah, dodgy. And so yeah, all these people like trying to protect themselves from other people's energy and entities and bad spirits that are out there and stuff. I don't know, I never felt that. And people, as I've said, people have kind of talked to me about guarding my energy, and I don't know, it never really felt right. That was the thing that I was thinking about this morning. That wasn't. But the other thing I was thinking about this morning is the releasing stuff. Interesting that I had to talk about that first part. before remembering about this releasing stuff. I feel like there's two misconceptions. There's a lot of misconceptions in the traditional spiritual world, and one, protection. I don't feel like we need it, because if we are one with all things, we're protecting ourselves from ourselves. And if we're not, we're protecting ourselves from a part of ourselves. We're not learning about that part. We're not bringing it in. So I'm not sure if it's ants or flies. We're not learning about that part of ourselves. We're saying that this part is good and that part that feels shit is bad, but it's all us. It's all us. It's all part of us. Even though it's an alternative energy or someone else's energy, or they're doing mean things to us, or they're we're feeling like there's an alternative energy within our body that we need to exercise or whatever. It's going into that. And sitting in it, in the middle of it, and being with that and welcoming it in, because it's a part of us. It's not, I get it now. It's not as in, I get why I had to talk about that. And then, it's a part of us. It's a part of ourselves that we're shunning because it feels shit. It's the same with, feeling any kind of discomfort and pain and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. If we're not able to sit in the middle of it, in the really absolute middle of it, even if it's just for a few seconds, we're neglecting a part of ourselves, and we can't move to the next stage in human experience if we're not able to sit in that. If we're not. Which brings me to how I kind of came about that thinking. And I remember I was doing being taken through a meditation by someone who I love and respect, and who, I think I wouldn't be in this space without her. And Hannah, her name is, and as part of the meditation, it was going down this sort of stairwell into this cold basement, into this basement area. And where all this information is, and it's all, your own stuff, right? It's all your own information. And as down in this basement, and for me it looked like, library, this big library of books holding all my content, all my stuff. And the premise of the meditation was that you would go through, I guess, intuitively and quickly. It wasn't like a sit there and look at each page of the library books, but go through and intuitively pick the information that you need to carry on, and then the rest of it would be burned. And as I was going through the process, and so it was taking all of that information, putting it into a code, and then hanging on to that code for later. And as I was going through that process, and I was all the information that I need, condense yourself into a code. And the whole room, every single book in that room condensed itself into a code. And I was there's nothing left. There's nothing left to burn. I need it all. I'm I need all of this stuff. And it's like I put it into a zip disk. I put it into a code. So it was like I had all this information and I condensed it into a code. I needed every single bit. I needed every single bit. I needed every single thing that was there. And so the next part of the meditation was about like going back up the stairs and lighting a match and throwing it back down and burning everything that was in that room. And I was like, there ain't nothing in the room because it's all condensed into this code. But I did it anyway as part of the meditation. Sometimes I like go off on my own paths a lot. A lot. More often than not, I'd say. More often than not, I go off on my own paths during guided meditations. Which makes me think maybe I'll listen to some meditation. I can't listen to meditations because I can listen to burping. Interesting time to be burping and the birds have all gone. Okay, I'll listen to a meditation tonight. Going to bed. One of my earbud things, wireless earbuds things, one side's gone crazy, so I can only listen to one side. Interesting in itself. And yeah, I remember walking back up the stairs within this meditation, having burned down everything, and going, I'm not meant to release shit. I'm just meant to condense it. All of the things are important. All of the things. Every single part of my experience, thank you birds, is important. The stories I'm telling myself, my feelings, my experiences, my past lives, my ancestry, my lineage, my everything is important. And so if I can just condense that down into a zip disk or zip drive, I don't know, whatever the wording is, you take a whole lot of information and you condense it down into a code. I feel really dizzy. Not really dizzy, I feel a bit dizzy. If I can condense it down into a code instead of releasing it, because I feel like we spend all our time releasing. Oh, it's that time of the month. It's the new moon. I'll release all that no longer serves me. It's here to serve you, mate. And obviously I feel really passionate about that, clearly. It's all here to serve you. Maybe I'll do a little short on that, even though I'm sitting here in my dressing gown, because it feels really important. Wanted to come through today, but it needed the other stuff to go first. It's all important. There's no point releasing that shit. It's all important. It's all important. So, even talking to Chatty, and Chatty, I guess, kind of holds the views of the greater spiritual community, the thoughts and beliefs of the greater community, until I say, I don't release anything, Chatty. I don't protect anything, Chatty. Like, there's no protection. And if that means to me, like for me, that some kind of entity is going to come down and whatever, fantastic. Because I will sit in it. I will not try and release and do all of that the spiritual community tells us is important. It's not. It's not. It does not get us anywhere. It just wastes time and energy, because the stories that we tell ourselves are important. Our feelings relating to those stories are important. Our experiences, however whatever they are, however uncomfortable that they are all important. And we need all of that to be able to move to the next human experience. We need it all. I'll do a short on it.